Welcome, and thanks for joining us for episode 11 of Code Girls on Air Season 2, a podcast exploring all things technology, female leadership, careers, education, and topics within the nonprofit sector. In this episode, I talk with Lorraine Clarno, President and CEO of the Kalispell Chamber of Commerce. Tune in to hear more about her story.
Well, welcome to Code Girls on Air. Go ahead and introduce yourself as well as what you do.
Well, thank you for having me. This is exciting. We do a podcast at the Kalispell Chamber, so
Very cool.
I'm familiar a little bit with how you girls are putting this together. Lorraine Clarno, I'm President and CEO of the Kalispell Chamber of Commerce. I'm coming up on my 5th anniversary with the Kalispell Chamber, but I've been doing this work for over 30 years now, which is pretty amazing to even think about. But I'm a mom, a mother of 2 wonderful adult grown children, and a wife of 38 years. Can't believe that either. And loving every minute of life.
Very cool. Yeah. So you've spent over 30 years working with different chambers of commerce. So what first got you interested in that sort of work?
You bet. I went to the University of British Columbia and got my degree in business and economics. Came out of that, went to work for a CPA firm in an administrative capacity. And then I ended up going to work for a gentleman named Dick Bringhurst. He owned PIP printing locations in Tacoma, Lacey, Olympia, and Fife up in Washington. And he turned his Tacoma store into the production house, and he had me manage what he called the outside stores. And I did that for about 7 years. And I was responsible for bringing in business to all those outside stores in the 3 different communities. And so at that time, I joined those 3 chambers of commerce in those communities and got very active involved. I served as an ambassador. I served on education committees. I served on a board, and really got to understand and see the impact and feel it and experience it as not that I was the business owner, but the person in charge of driving business,
Yes.
right? And so when my husband took a position in Portland, Oregon, it was an opportunity for me to do what I think most people do when they're looking for a career or job change. And you write your little lists of what you liked, what you didn't like. And I knew I was done with printing, had enough of that. But what I truly loved about what I'd done for 7 years was my volunteering and work with chambers of commerce. So I blanketed the Portland, Oregon metropolitan area and sent my resume out to about 20 different chambers at that time. And Hillsboro, Oregon, was kind enough to give me a shot. And I took about a 50% pay cut to experience what I truly felt was my passion.
Yes.
And that's what got me in. I started as a program and committee coordinator, ended up being a school-to-work coordinator, doing work-based learning, recruiting and training businesses to host young folks in their business. Which you're probably getting a chance to do at Glacier or Flathead or wherever you're at now. And then I was recruited to the Beaverton Chamber of Commerce when their CEO position opened up. And I went about 8 miles down the road and worked in Beaverton for 21 years before I came to Kalispell in 2020.
For sure. Awesome. So for people who don't really know, what exactly does a Chamber of Commerce do, and what does your day-to-day look like?
Sure. All chambers, most communities across the United States as well as around the world have local chambers of commerce. And we all have the same overriding mission, and that is to strengthen the local economy and to assist our communities. As chambers of commerce, we believe that business is the foundation of every healthy community. If you have a thriving business economy in your town, you are going to have good schools. You're going to have folks who can contribute to groups like Code Girl United. You're going to have a solid structure to live in and work in and play and raise your families in. And that's what every chamber does, no matter where they are in the world. But we all do it very uniquely because we're made up of voluntary dues-paying members, businesses.
Yes.
And we have unique community assets in every place you go. And so we all get to that end mission in different ways. And in terms of and every day for my work week, what I love most about it is I get to work with the smartest people in the community, the business leaders from businesses, from government, from nonprofit community, and I learn from them every day. And my day never goes as planned. It is constantly changing and evolving, and so much variety. So yesterday was a number of meetings and using AI to do some writing.
Very cool.
And things like that. And today has been meetings on childcare. Met with the governor this morning.
Oh, very cool.
We did a signing for House Bill 226, I believe, Representative Courtney Sprunger's bill. So I set that up with Flathead Electric. Got to visit with Mark Johnson, the CEO of Flathead. And, every single day is different. And I'm meeting different people at all levels in the community. And I just thrive on it. It's so much fun. Yeah,
for sure. And I think that you just have such a unique perspective because you're talking to so many different people. You really see Kalispell in a very complex way, which is super, super cool.
Right.
So you have led at the local and state level and even national level with different chamber of groups. What have you learned about leadership from working with so many different businesses and organizations?
Oh my gosh, pretty much everything I know is what I've learned. I was the chair of the Montana Association of Chamber Executives last year, and that was a wonderful experience for me because being relatively new to Montana, about 5 years, it gave me a wonderful window into this incredible state and how big it is. It just blows my mind. And the very different economies that exist in microeconomies and different communities. So I learned a ton from that opportunity. Being past chair of the board of the Western Association of Chamber Executives, a similar experience. That membership is made up of chamber professionals, about 800 of them from all over the Western United States. And it is so, again, going back to your first question, every single chamber is completely different. So we can, we call it R&D, rip off and duplicate. Okay. We share program ideas and then bring them home and tweak them to make what works for our community. So there is so much going on in this world of information and experience that having the opportunity to give back to the community that I've fallen in love with, Chambers of Commerce, that give back has been wonderful, and I just have learned tremendously. And I think the most important thing is to just always remain curious.
For sure. So you've also described yourself as a serial volunteer. And what keeps you motivated to give back and stay involved after all these years?
I've never met a person who did not truly feel that giving is better than receiving. And so selfishly, volunteering is a way to contribute, right?
Yes.
And again, connecting with people of all ages, all backgrounds, all ethnicities, all cultures. That's what makes this life and world an incredible place. We're all different, but we're really all the same. We all want the same things. And so rolling up your sleeves and diving into a community project, whether it's right now I'm working as a co-chair for the capital campaign for the Samaritan House, their building stability campaign. We're raising about $16 million to build a family apartment complex unit for affordable housing and families in need and veterans housing. It is a lot of work, but it is so neat to sit in a room and brainstorm and strategize and then, with your team, and then go out with your team of volunteers, make the asks, sell the project, talk about the difference it's going to make and the impact that'll have on people forever in Kalispell.
For sure.
That's an incredible, fulfilling experience, but it's about learning and then paying that knowledge forward.
Yeah, that human to human connection is so important. And a big part of your job is building those relationships and
Yes.
bringing people together. So what is your secret to helping people work as a team and even when they don't even agree with each other?
Sure. And that happens a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
And the key there, I try to be first and foremost a listener. And when you start from there, what you do, as I said, we all really want the same things. We may differ on how we're going to get there and what it might actually look like at the end. But giving people an opportunity to share their voice and share their ideas and making sure they know they are heard is the only way you can bring folks to the middle and to compromise. And it's a challenge depending on the issue. But it can certainly be done if everybody goes into it with an open mind, or you find ways to help them get to that open mind.
Yeah, for sure. And you've managed a lot of volunteers over the years. And how do you help people stay excited and committed to something that they're really doing for free?
They absolutely are. But you appreciate them, you acknowledge them, you get that one-on-one relationship going, and you be genuine and authentic to them. And they will continue to come back and have fun, acknowledge the time and the commitment and what they're contributing. I'm a strong believer as a leader, I give all the credit away to my staff, my team, my volunteers. I take the problems. So.
For sure. I think that being a leader in that way is owning up to any mistakes or any other difficult issues.
Exactly.
And yeah, really, obviously, again, leading that team and being that a leader is only as good as their team is, and acknowledge
100%. And I tell my staff team every single day, my job is to support them. If they're doing well, if they're enjoying their jobs, everything is going to work.
Yeah, for sure. And you've worked on some big community issues like housing and early childhood support. Why is it important for businesses and community leaders to care about these kinds of problems too?
Because we are a part of the creation of those problems.
Yeah.
Kalispell has had tremendous growth over the last few years. And if we don't, as community stakeholders, work together to solve some of the challenges that growth presents, we're not going to have community.
Yeah.
And so it makes sense to work together as in coalitions and teams, as groups of stakeholders, public-private partnerships, to tackle those things like housing, like childcare. There's a clear business case for childcare and why businesses need to be involved. Childcare workers are the workforce of the workforce.
Yeah.
Without them, we're not going to have a healthy economy. So diving into those issues has been really energizing. And when you ask and you treat folks the right way, they come to the table. And that's another thing that's beautiful about Kalispell. There are very, very special people and businesses here because they do recognize that they have a responsibility and a role in fixing some of the challenges.
Yeah, for sure. So what advice would you give to young people who want to help in their community, but they don't know where to start?
Good question. I think that at every level of school, I'm sure if you talk to teachers and guidance counselors and things like that, you could start right in your school. If you want to broaden out to community, we have over 400 nonprofits in Flathead Valley.
Yeah.
A ton. And they are all in need of help and support in various different ways. And I would, I'd get curious and I'd get out, get on the internet, Google nonprofits in Kalispell, and you'll see food bank pop up. You'll see Samaritan House, the Warming Center, Abbey Shelter, Code Girls. I mean, all kinds of places that are really in need of volunteers and excited to embrace our youth. You guys are our future, and we got to see through the One Brave Pack, the school levy recently.
Yes.
We had representatives from both Flathead and Glacier High School work with a team of community stakeholders, and I got to tell you, it was them. It was the kids
Yeah.
that won that levy,
For sure.
that passed it. The door knocking they did, the phone calling they did. It's really energizing for us older folks
Yeah, for sure.
to work with our youth and get some of that energy and excitement and passion. And I would just say dive in, try and what lights you up as a person.
Yeah.
What do you think the biggest challenge or concern is in your community? And then align that with nonprofits that are trying to address that and jump in.
For sure. And I think that, obviously this building is full of nonprofits, and
Yes.
you can certainly find anything that you're passionate about. So whether that is like Code Girls on Air, Code Girls United, or if that's, the Abbey Shelter, there are so many opportunities.
Right.
And
I
if
think
you-
one of the neatest nonprofits here at the Gateway is Serious Juju,
Oh, yeah.
right? I mean, if you like skateboarding, hey,
Yeah, for sure.
they're always looking for folks to help keep expanding their hours and bringing kids in to experience ministry and skateboarding and healthy environments. So
Yes.
that's another really neat place.
Yeah, for sure. So you said that you love change and you get bored easily, which
Yes.
honestly sounds like a lot of fun and definitely super relatable to a lot of people. And how has that attitude helped you stay energized throughout your career?
Boy, to not be changing, I believe so strongly that if you're not changing and growing, you're dying.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line. And that goes true for humans as it does communities. And we always need to be thinking in those terms. And I'm a lifelong learner, always wanting to dive into the next neat tech or whatever there is available.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, I'm playing a lot with AI right now. Initially, like for most people, you're like, ooh, I don't know about that. Kind of scary. It is incredible.
Yes. Oh, it
It is absolutely incredible. It has improved my productivity, I would say, by a minimum of 100%.
Yes.
I still do all my own work,
Yeah.
but then I pump it into AI. I can draft a letter, pump it into ChatGPT and say, using this tone, fix
Yeah.
this letter, make it better. And you have to double check everything,
Yes.
right? But yes, change for me, my personal motto has always been eat change for breakfast.
Yeah.
And that's how I raised my kids. We're gonna make mistakes. We're gonna fail, but you know what? That's where we learn best.
Yeah, for sure.
And it keeps life interesting. So I always say embrace change and go with it. Yep, you can be a little afraid of it or a little hesitant, but if you keep all your energy going forward and not looking back, you're going to get through it, and it's going to be better at the end of the day.
For sure. I think that a great mentality to have is that there is no true stagnant. Like every day you're learning how to adapt, how to use your resources better, how to simplify your life in different ways. And if you are ever stagnant, then you're not really doing much.
No, you're going backwards if you're not going forwards. There's no such
Exactly.
thing today as staying put.
Yeah, and obviously AI is obviously a really hot topic right now because it's really changing the landscape of productivity.
Yes, it is.
And I think that it is so incredible, and it's also only as good as the human behind it.
Exactly.
So if you're obviously going to pump just like an ingenuine thank you note, for example, that's like,
Right.
obviously it's not going to be very good. And even if they don't know that, you're going to know that, wow, a robot came up with a thank you note. That's cheap.
Yep.
But-
We had a session with a gentleman, John Jacari. He owns Tech Sovereign Partners, and we launched a new program at the Chamber last week called Catapult Collective, and it's about furthering your career advancement. And AI was our first topic, and he was awesome. And the title was, "Will AI assist you or will it replace you?" It's your choice, right? And he was saying exactly what you just said. AI will never replace humans because it's the relationship, it's the feelings behind the words, whatever you're doing. But what it can do is make you incredibly valuable because of your productivity.
Yeah, for sure. So you're always trying to improve yourself. And what's one new thing that you've learned lately that has had an impact on your life?
AI.
Yeah.
We started there, and I'll go back to it. We've all been reading about it. We've all been actually using it, right? For about 25 years. People don't realize that.
Machine learning has been
If you have Alexa
time.
in your house, Siri on your phone, that's all AI. It just didn't have a name until a couple years ago, right? Really broadly, anyway. And so I am just all in. The amount of things you can do with it, and there's new AI tools coming all the time. Notebook AI is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Get a board packet that's 65 pages.
Yeah.
I don't have time to read it. Upload that document, ask it what are the top 5 issues in the meeting, and then it'll create an executive summary for you out of all those 65 pages, and then I'm reading too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah, I think that AI is easily the most powerful thing. And again, it's been a thing. It's been labeled as machine learning for a long time.
Right.
But it's just now with like multimodal, meaning you can upload documents, you can upload images, and it figures out what to do with them. That is incredible. And again, going back to our other point, it is only as good as humans are. And without that human-to-human connection, which ultimately is, in my opinion, what should be prioritized and what is naturally prioritized, then like that comes ultimately because we're human first.
That's right.
The rest of it is just a nice additive that helps us be productive.
And it will make some scary mistakes.
Yeah.
So don't take it for granted and think that everything it spits back at you is correct.
For sure. I remember there was this news article a few months ago where Google's Gemini was telling people to like eat rocks.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was just because the idea behind it was like, well, you need nutrients in your diet, and rocks are minerals, so eat rocks. And obviously, that one's kind of an absurd one that's like instantly, shouldn't do that.
Right.
But there are other minor ones that are less.
I'll give you an example. It happened in our office this morning. I sent photos of the visit with the governor this morning at Flathead Electric to my marketing and communication teammate. And she didn't know exactly what House Bill 226 was. So she put it into ChatGPT to make a social post, right? A digital media post. And it came up with the completely wrong information on what the bill was. So if she had not double checked it on the Montana legislature website, we would have been talking complete idiocy. It doesn't get everything right, and you better be double checking it.
Yeah, for sure. So you have done so much. You're a wife, you're a mom, you're a leader, volunteer. How do you balance everything? And what advice do you have for girls who want to dream big in both their careers and also personal lives?
Absolutely. I always say you can have it all. You just maybe can't have it all at the same time. Yeah. And it's about pace. It's about prioritizing. But staying busy is just something that has been human nature for me. Yeah. And multitasking and juggling, I think, gets back to that change. I love variety. I have to have it in my life. So it has honestly not been a giant feat for me. I don't think I would have done what I've done if it had been. But I realized probably my kids' mid-teenage lives that I always thought when they were tiny and infants and when I had them in childcare and a little bit of mother's guilt over it because I've always been a working mom, I started to see the benefits really clearly in that my kids, I wanted to sleep in on the weekends. My kids didn't because I had them up at 5:30 every morning. And so they didn't know Saturday from Sunday, right? And, and the stay-at-home moms' kids were all sleeping in or eating cereal by the TV. My kids were, where are we going? What are we going to do? Yeah. And they have carried that forward as well in their adult lives. Being busy, being productive, learning, challenging yourself, I think is the way to that's what has fulfilled me as a mom, as a wife, as an employee, and as a leader in the community. It just keeps me going. What do you have for girls who want to dream big in both their careers and also personal lives? Oh, just go for it. Yeah. Just go for it. And curiosity leads to open doors. Mm-hmm. And if you have an idea of what you want to do, then just get curious, dig in, reach out to adults who are doing that kind of thing. Job shadow, intern with them, find out, what makes them tick and determine if that's really something you want to do. Constantly be looking, asking questions. I mean, this world is so amazing right now, and it's just getting faster and faster and faster. And there's gonna be more doors to open than we can begin to think about.
Yeah, so that kind of touches on our final question. So what do you think about the next generation of young women, and what's one message you really hope that they hear?
That is an excellent question. I think I would say, first of all, the generation of young women I'm getting an opportunity to work with in the Flathead. We have internships in our office, so I get to meet some of you. You're just incredible. You truly, truly are. The breadth of knowledge and experience that you bring to bear, even at, in high school, junior high, there are some very remarkable gals that are going to change the world. I have no doubt about that. And what I want them to really hear is that no career, no life is that straight line on a graph. It gets whirly and wobbly and wiggly depending on where you are at what point. And to not be afraid of that, because with every little change in direction, for whatever reason, life is going to put some barriers up. Things are going to happen. You're going to find some obstacles. View them as challenges. Again, get curious and figure out what you're supposed to be learning, and then take that forward.
For sure. Awesome. So thank you so much for being on Code Girls On Air today. Your story has definitely been very inspirational, and I'm sure our listeners love to hear of your unique perspective, especially here in the Flathead Valley.
Well, thank you for having me. It's been a
thank you so much.
It's so nice to meet you, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much for listening to episode 11 of season 2 of Code Girls On Air. Next week, we'll be talking with Cassie Jackson, Vice President of Enterprise Solutions at Advice Play and founder of the nonprofit Suffer Out Loud. Join us next time to hear more about her story. Thank you so much for listening, and have a great rest of your week.